If you'd like to follow along in this lesson, open your Project Files folder, open the Lesson 4 folder, and then open the workbook Paste Options. All right, let's go over to the Values worksheet. In the left column, we have some green fruit. In the right column, we have some red fruit. Now we know that there are red grapes, so I'd like to take the grapes here and copy them, Control-C, and paste them into the red column, Control-V. Now, of course, the default paste takes the green and the text and pastes it right there in the red. I want these grapes in the red column to blend in with all the other red fruit. To do that, I'm going to tell it to paste the values, which implies that you're leaving behind the formatting. So we're pasting only the values and not the formatting. So we do that from down here, and that blends it in beautifully. Let's take a look at this one down here. In column D, we have cells that contain formulas. Basically, the formulas take this number and subtract from it this number. The boss called up and said, hey, I want you to send a copy of this worksheet over to customer Bill Sams, but don't send him anything with formulas in it. Just set it up so that he just gets the raw data. So we need to be able to copy this set of data and strip the formulas out of it while leaving the results of the formula behind. We can do this easily enough. We'll just select this column of cells right here and copy it with Control-C and just paste right over top of that same cell range with Control-V. Of course, when you paste, the Paste Options button comes up, and what we're looking for here is to just paste the values again. That means remove the formulas, but leave all the numbers that the formulas calculated behind. Now, sure enough, when you click in these cells, you can see that there are no formulas here. It's just all raw numbers. So that's what Paste Values does. It removes any formulas and just pastes the values into a cell. To scroll over to the next group of worksheets, we'll have to come down here and make use of these little VCR controls. I'm just going to click the Next button a couple of times to scroll over so we can see the rest of these. And we're going to go to the Values and Number Formatting worksheet. This is another value type paste, but this allows us to control whether or not we paste the values as well as the number formatting. But in the previous exercise, where we pasted only the values and none of the formatting, this one's going to paste the values and just the number formatting. So here's the way it'll work. We have formulas in these cells, and we have green, and we have currency applied to the cells. Let's take a look in the Home tab. You can see currency listed here in the number format box. Down here, of course, we have sort of a red cell and general formatting in these cells. So what I want to do is take the formulas, strip out the formulas, and paste just the numbers into these red cells. And I also want to get the number formatting. That's the currency. But I don't want to get the green. Okay, let's try this out. We'll select these cells, Control-C, click in the top cell and Control-V to paste. Of course, it overwrites everything. But now we'll come down here and we'll choose the second of the Paste Values options, Values and Number Formatting. And there we go. We get the dollar signs, we strip out the formulas, and we keep the red background color. Oh, cool stuff. Okay, values and source formatting. This is the third value option that we see in the Paste Options box. How does this work? Well, this is going to convert all of our formulas to regular numbers and also copy all the other formatting that's applied to the cell. That's number formatting and font and alignment formatting, whatever happens to be there. Basically, it's going to clone everything in that cell, except it's going to strip out the formulas. All right, let's try that. We'll select all these guys here, Control-C, click in the top red cell and Control-V, and choose Values and Source Formatting. Okay, let's take a look. We got all the formatting. We got the dollar signs, we got the green, and if you look in the formula bar, you can see that none of these cells have any formulas in them. Perfect, that's just what we were looking for. Let's go to the formatting sheet. Here's a situation where we want to take all the formatting on these cells and paste only the formatting onto these cells down here. We don't want to overwrite the data here. As you can see, it's different data, different names, different values. We just want to take the formatting. So here we go. Select all this stuff here, Control-C, click in the top left cell of where you want to start the paste. Excel will figure out the dimensions. It'll just paste in the same dimensions as this dotted box up here. So you don't have to select everything ahead of time, although that won't hurt anything. It's just as easy just to click here in this top cell where you want to begin the paste. Control V to paste, and you can see that Excel overwrote everything in that table below. It overwrote all the names and all the values with the copied data. But now we're going to go over to the Paste Options button and choose Formatting. This puts all the data back the way it was, and look at that. How nice is that? Okay, over to the Paste Link. This is a pretty cool option here. This is where you can take the value in a cell and link it when you paste it someplace else. Here's the example. We're going to take this title, Muddy Run Supply, and we're going to paste it into this cell and this cell. But we're going to do it in such a way that these cells are linked by formula to cell B2, where that title is. Then, if we change the title in cell B2, the two linked cells will update automatically. All right, let's try it out. Control C to copy, click in the first destination cell, and Control V to paste, and then use the Paste Options button to say Paste Link. Now, if you take a look in cell B4, you can see that there's a formula in the formula bar that links it to this cell right here. Now, we're going to do the same thing down here. As long as the dotted box is still going around Muddy Run Supply, we can continue to paste. So we'll do Control V, use the Paste Options button to paste a link. And now both of these cells are linked by formula to this original cell here. Escape on the keyboard to turn off the marching ants, and let's try out the link. I'm just going to change the name from Muddy Run Supply to MRS. When I hit enter, look at that. Both of those linked cells update automatically. That is cool if you ask me. All right, let's go over to the picture worksheet. Here we have a chart, and we want to paste this chart someplace as a picture. Now, why would we want to do such a thing? Because a chart looks like a picture if you ask me. Well, let me scroll down here a little bit and we'll talk about it. Whenever you create a chart in Excel, the chart is linked to the data that the chart is derived from. So, for example, we have DC right here with a 68. And watch what happens to the chart when I change this number. I'll type in a 500 here. When I hit enter, the whole dynamic of the chart changes because, of course, the chart and the data is linked. Let me undo that. So the boss calls up and he says, hey, I want you to send this chart over to Bill Smith, one of our customers. Do it in such a way that he can't change the chart. The only way to do that is to paste the chart in as a picture, which is basically going to remove the links between the chart and the data. Here's how you do it. You select the chart, Control C to copy. We'll just scroll over a little bit here, and we're just going to paste it right here. Control V to paste. Now when you paste this, Excel creates a clone of the original chart, and it too is linked to the data. So now we have to change the way the paste behaves. We're going to click the Paste Options button and just choose Picture. So now this is just a picture of a chart, and it can be formatted like a picture. It can be resized. You can even use the Format tab and add some special effects to the picture. Here's some shadow. Here's a border. Here's one of my favorites. How about this? Cool. And finally, we come to the one that really blows my mind, the linked picture option. Let's go to that worksheet and I'll show you how this works. Whenever you copy cells and paste them as a linked picture, you actually get a picture of the data that you've copied, but that picture is linked to the original data. Now it sounds kind of confusing, I know, but watch how this works. You're going to like this. I'm going to select all this stuff right here and copy it, Control C. And then I'll just click down here and Control V to paste. We'll go to the Paste Options button and choose Linked Picture. Now it looks just like the original data, doesn't it? But in fact, this is a picture. We can apply picture formatting to it. If we go to the Picture Tools, here's a really good one. We just apply this picture format to it. We can drag it around, treat it independently. I mean, just like a picture. It's so cool. But here's the really great thing. If we change any of the data here, let's change the 68 to a 300 and watch it down here in the picture. 300. Look at that. How cool is that? So you can basically have this picture any place in your workbook, and it's still connected to the original data. This would allow you to take a piece of data from way down on a worksheet and then just place it near the top of the worksheet, so basically you could keep track of what's going on someplace else in your worksheet. Make changes to the original data, and this is always going to update. You could even change the formatting. Let's take these guys here and just change some of the formatting. How about yellow cells? Oh, look at that. So cool stuff. Man, I like some of this stuff. Here's one of my favorites too. Look at that. Can't do that with a regular range of cells. Now, if you like this whole format the picture thing, we have a whole lesson dedicated to formatting pictures down the road. So the verdict is in, and I love the Paste Options button. I use it all the time, but for as much as I love it, there's always somebody that doesn't like it at all. In fact, just recently in one of my live classes, I had somebody ask me, how do I turn that annoying button off? Well, for those of you who really must turn it off, I'm going to show you how to do that. But I'm going to advise you to try to work with the button a while and try to like it, because it really is going to streamline your workflow. But if you must turn it off, here's how you do it. You go to the File tab, you go to the Options button, go to the Advanced category, scroll down till you find Cut, Copy, and Paste, and remove the check next to Show Paste Options button when content is pasted. So if you must do it, there it is. But for me, I'm turning mine back on. Throughout the last two videos, we've worked exclusively with Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste our cells. But what about the mouse, you say? Can't I use the mouse to copy and paste? Well, you sure can. In fact, there's some pretty good reasons to do so. Let's copy Bob by right-clicking and choosing Copy. When we come over to a cell here to paste and right-click, in the shortcut menu, we'll see some of the most popular paste options. We don't get all 14, but the chances are pretty good that the one that you're looking for is going to be in this list of 6. And what's more, you can preview the result before you even make your choice. This is what Microsoft calls live preview. So let's try it out. If I hover over the paste button, I'm not clicking, I'm just hovering, you can see that Excel is going to paste Bob and Bob's background color into that cell. If I decide that I want to paste just Bob without the blue background, I could choose Values. There's that live preview again. The next two buttons don't really apply. They're Formulas and Transpose. I don't have any formulas, and I don't have a table of data to transpose. But this next one, Formatting, that would paste in the blue format without Bob. And finally, you won't really be able to see much if you choose Paste Link, but that would in fact paste a link into the original Bob. We'll just go ahead here and choose Values and hit Escape to turn off the marching ants. For those of us who like to work with keyboard shortcuts, we can go back to working with paste options and use something called hotkeys to fire in the paste options. Here's how it works. We'll right-click on Jim and choose Copy. We're going to do Control-V to paste him in here again so that I can get the paste options box. There you go. Now to fire up the options, I'm just going to hit Control on the keyboard. This opens up the option list. And then I'll just use one of the hotkeys that's assigned to these buttons. What are hotkeys? Well, if you just hover over any of these options, you'll see a little letter that appears after the name. There's a P for paste, F for formulas. Down here is a V for values. So all I have to do is just type the letter. I'll type a V. And there you go. So let's see that a little faster. Copy Bob, Control-C. Click where you want him to go, Control-V, Control, V. Just like that. You can really get fast with this, and heaven knows we need to get more stuff done, don't we?